Sunday, February 28th, and this is your update. Sorry if I look kind of dingy and still sound a little off. I'm basically well, but my nose is crazy, and I had to be up early for work this morning, which is why I'm tired and gross and bleh. A few weeks ago, I was asked to cover in this vlog my writing process, and today I'm actually going to do it, and it fits really well because I am starting my new play, revamped. It's a challenge. So the first step for writing is, of course, to get an idea, and for me, I usually get those in the bathroom. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but something about being in the shower, brushing my teeth, whatever, that's when I usually get ideas. It goes like this.
Wait, so if we cover the cat in Jello...
Depending on what it is you're doing, your next step, for me at least, might be to plot it out. I really suck at plot. Depending on the project, this is either my next step or it waits for a while. For playwriting, I usually tackle the characters first. I kind of get a feel from them, and as my playwriting professor says, from there you can really develop your story. Of course, there's no point in getting too involved with characters in playwriting because you're really just loaning them out. You don't really need to know the details, that's up to the actors, and as sad as that is, I mean, you gotta let your babies grow up. With prose, though, I go deep into the characters, and you need to. You need to know every single detail about them. Sometimes things will come up as you're writing, and you realize you want them to be one way or another. But like I said, I suck at plot. So when it's time for that, I usually go to my friend Hannah, who's great at it. And the two of us sit down, chat up, and I start keeping a notebook full of notes for how the plot's going to go. After that, it's time to sit down and write it. With playwriting, I usually handwrite a rough draft first and then move on to the computer, but with prose, I just skip the middleman and I go straight to the computer. At this point, ideally, you have hit the zone. Of course, you can write well without being in the zone. Just being in the zone makes it amazing and artful and it's an experience. But sometimes you can write yourself into the zone or even think yourself out of it. So just sitting down and writing it, often you can crank out some really good work that way.
No, cried Mittens, not the banana pudding flavor. It doesn't even actually taste like bananas.
After you've finished, of course, comes the editing process. I want to give it to the most nitpicky people possible. I'm lucky to have my friend Michael, who basically hates everything. And that's not nice, and it's not true. He actually is very generous with praise, but he's also very generous with telling me, you know, this really sucks and it needs to get changed. Some tips. 1. Don't care if it sucks the first time, because promise, it will. I mean, even if it's years down the road and you've been doing this for ages, and I've been writing for at least 7 years now, almost 8, I mean, like, constantly writing, you will suck your first time, and in fact, all those years later, your first draft is going to suck too, and that's just how it goes, and that's fine. Key is to keep writing. No matter how bad you think you're doing, just keep at it, and you will improve. But really, that is my big advice, is if you want to write, write. Don't worry about if it's great, just do it, keep at it. But enough about that, let's move on to this week's new rant. I've been kind of in a Disney nostalgic mood this week for a lot of various reasons. So on YouTube, my big thing has been to look up a bunch of the songs. The two I'm going to compare and contrast today are going to be the 1996 Disney film Hunchback Notre Dame, and then another picture not by Disney, 1998, The Prince of Egypt. As for the first one, though it has many flaws, what makes it really, really freaking badass and why I still kind of want to watch it now is the music. The score is epic. You can tell Alan Menken kind of pulled out all the stops because he does a great job with it.
I think my favorite part about the music is Alan Menken's theme with the bells and the big, huge God choir. What kid didn't like that? Okay, sure, Hugo's story is whitewashed to the point of socially acceptable blandness, but who cares? The soundtrack more than makes up for it. Listen to the bell theme. Just using subtle changes, he's able to utilize it in any way he needs for whatever scene, and it frickin' is awesome.
Of course, not all the songs were amazing. As a kid, I really liked God Bless the Outcast, but now I kind of feel like it serves the function of requisite bland female pop ballad. This has always been a problem for girls. Very often, the songs that they get just sort of seem to exploit their nurturing, sensitive sides rather than using this opportunity to explore the character and advance the story to a greater degree. I do think male roles suffer for this as well, occasionally, but it's either that or women become badass action chicks who think emotions, like makeup, are for girly girls and pussies, and they personally traded in their vagina about 10 plot points ago for an AK-47.
The song I truly hated, though, was this one with the sidekicks, A Guy Like You. Without fail, I fast-forwarded through this every single time I watched this as a kid. And I hated it. It's not funny. I actually felt embarrassed watching it. I want to get back to the dark plot. You have this great dramatic moment, and they feel the need to shove these guys in there? Why? Oh, Jason Alexander.
I never liked being talked down to in the humor front. All these animal sidekicks and body physical humor, they were never for me, and I think they're not for a lot of kids. Kids aren't stupid. They like dark, involved stories. They understand literature. I think that when you understand that and you actually give kids what they want, which is often the same thing as adults want, compelling stories and good developed characters, then they're going to get really excited. That's something Disney never really seemed to get with their villains. Most of them are evil just because they're evil. There's no real motivation. Yeah, they screw over the main character just for the sake of doing it. And certainly Frollo does this to Quasimodo, but it's not for its own sake. Notre Dame's the only Disney film that I can think of that kind of pushed religious buttons. And I mean that kind of in the loosest ways, but I can't think of any others that actually dealt with a real world religion that still is practiced today directly. I mean, maybe vague references, but nothing this direct. And it's kind of different. I mean, I think that's probably why Frollo was changed from the priest to the minister of justice, because really, if you make the bad guy a Catholic priest, even if that's what it was in the book, people are silly and they're going to get upset. Though I actually think that that's what made the film work, because it was different. It was something new. It wasn't just the same old stuff. It was nice to have developed villains and, you know, a story that you can relate to, something that's not entirely fantastical.
And now let's look at The Prince of Egypt. Beautiful animation and also a beautiful score. Definitely different from Menken's score. I mean, it doesn't have the God chorus, and initially that's what Hans Zimmer was going to do, but the directors asked him not to. Actually, they wanted the underplayed God theme, and actually, really, it works really well. It's a beautiful, powerful theme, and I can't complain about it, but it does make the two kind of incomparable, though Stephen Schwartz did lyrics for both this and Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then, of course, there's the villain, Ramses, who is actually also really well developed, but definitely even more developed. What's great about Ramses is he's a fully 3D person. He has depth. You actually feel bad for him. He's not someone you need to hate. He's just kind of on the wrong side of God's bad mood. And it's really sad in that way. But that's what makes this movie really powerful also. Of course, The Prince of Egypt had a different bent from the start. You pretty much knew going in that this was going to be a religious picture, and if you were a subscriber to a world religion that wasn't Hinduism or Buddhism, you probably weren't going to get offended. This was DreamWorks' first animated feature film, and while I'd stop short from calling them a religious company, very short, they approached the subject exactly as they should, as a piece of mythology.
Before we get our knickers in a twist because I called the dogma of Christianity and many other religions myth, myth is not the same thing as falsehood. We can blame that colloquialism on Plato. In actuality, a myth is just a sacred story, and I think we can all agree that these things are sacred stories. No debate of truth or reality or historical validity is really involved. You just take it as a story, and it's really how you should take it. Saving for another day why modern Christians are so upset when their dogma is questioned. Disney has dealt with myth before, only they just really sucked at it before.
Yeah, remember Hercules? It bitch-slapped Greek mythology into submission and then made it ask for more, to the point where it forgot if it was dealing in Greek, Roman, or modern Christian themes of sacrifice and waiting to lose your virginity and all that.
Guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there for this week. I changed things up in the formatting a little bit, got lots and lots of video rather than just me talking at you, and hey, that's kind of cool. So, not a whole lot of news to report. I just got to work on the play. I got 5 pages into it. That's tough. I also had a snow day on Friday. That's cool. And I got stuck in an elevator twice this weekend. Not so cool. But hey, my party is now a month from today. My 21st birthday party, even though I'm not 21. But hey, gotta celebrate it sometime, right? So, I hope to see you all there, or just see you while I'm home. And if not, then I hope to see you this summer. I don't know. But anyway, have a great week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Mwah. Bye.